XRP holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend and you guys are, ready to have an amazing week ahead of yourself. So, if you have not subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button and come join the Crypto ZX army. But now let's take a look at what's really happening with the crypto market and, of course, what we could be expecting as far as XRP price is concerned. Looking across the board, we are starting to see, specifically over the last 1 hour to be exact, market actually going back into the green, like pretty much a lot of coins right now. But as far as the last 24 hours is concerned, you did see a little bit of 50-50 playing out. Some coins up, some seeing a retracement. XRP down about 1.2% with the price currently sitting at $2.18. In Bitcoin comparative, we're pretty much break even, but valuation at $127.2 billion and a 24-hour trading volume at about 1.5 billion. Before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So look at this. US spot ETFs bought 18,654 Bitcoin this week alone, while only 3,150 Bitcoins were mined on average. So remember, it's becoming more and more scarce. Demand is outweighing the supply. And, with the next halving, I think it's just going to, change the entire, game on, when it comes to, Bitcoin accumulation. We are seeing record high demand. So, of course, it just makes it more understandable, why, there's so much demand coming for, this asset class. Speaking of that, we're going to kind of touch a little bit more a little later on. But look at this, FOMC meeting is this Wednesday. The Fed will decide whether to cut, hike, or keep the rates unchanged. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about that. If you've been looking at the unemployment numbers, if you've been looking at quarterly earning reports coming from companies, and of course regarding the tariffs, there is a pause right now, but we started to hear positive things coming out regarding the tariffs. Donald Trump wants to work with some of these other countries to come up with some sort of a conclusion. What are your personal thoughts on this? Are we finally going to see a rate cut? Obviously, people always compare it to Canada. Canada has seen major amounts of rate cuts, I would say, over the last, 7-8 months. They've actually seen quite a few rate cuts. If I'm not mistaken, 4 rate cuts as of now. 4, maybe 5, if I'm not mistaken. Which again, obviously, if you're comparing it with the U.S., it's none. So of course, people want to see a rate cut, and that would be mega bullish for the markets. Maybe that pushes the price of Bitcoin towards an all-time high. Obviously, if a rate cut does not happen, then obviously, a little bit of choppy levels could be in play. We'll see what happens. But look at this. You either have a money transmitter license or you don't. There is no in between XRP, and we know Ripple has done that. They have the money transmitter license. And again, when it comes to that regulatory standpoint, we talk about regulation coming in. We talk about compliance being so important. And Ripple is pretty much checking all the boxes because, of course, they care about compliance. They care about regulation, and they want to do things the right way. And this is, one of the very, few examples that I would like to one of the many examples that I want to share with you guys. So you can see this for yourself. Swift has confirmed the integration of ISO 20022 by November of this year. The new financial system is set to start this year, and XRP is fully prepared. And on top of that, look at this. Ripple's partner Finastra says, this is the first time in history that all payments are moving to digital. Profile and insight, and of course, as we are starting to see, more and more, payments going, digitally. Guess what? You want to kind of see some sort of a compliance aspect coming into play. Of course, new tech coming in, and of course, blockchain being added into infrastructures and infrastructure and adopting, the blockchain, technology. And obviously, I think we're in the very early stage of, the adoption level from, the big players that like the banks, big, entities like governments, et cetera, et cetera. So I think, this is where, we're really going to see that shift that we've been discussing for the longest time. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight, but, we're already starting to see a lot of these things happening. So of course, this is also a great thing to, keep in mind. And look at that, Trump has said this today. President Trump says, the crypto market was much stronger than the stock market during the recent crash. It's very popular. It's very very hot. So of course, he has come out and said in this interview that, he had to obviously start paying attention to the, crypto markets, because of course, if they don't, China is going to, come and take on board. So of course, they want to be ahead of the curve. And now, with this specific statement, now this makes me think about, what we were talking about at the early stages of him coming back into the office. All the speculation were happening about, whether or not US-based projects are going to be exempt from, paying capital gains, for anyone that has, those coins. As of now, obviously that's still up in the air, nothing confirmed, but is that really under the pipeline? There's a lot happening, and you are starting to see the powerful nation, which again is the States, really going all in on crypto. And I think, we're very in the early stages here, and you're really going to see some shock waves really being felt in the near future. If you're looking at, the dominance here, I'm going to show you guys the dominance on the hourly, perspective. We did see dominance actually pulling down over the last few hours. Which of course is also something that we shouldn't really be forgetting. You can see this for yourself. Dominance, did pull down quite significantly, and it's continues to see, pretty much, pulling down. But again, in a grand scheme of things, it's really, really high. BTC did see a little bit of a minor pullback. You could see, we went down to 93.4, but have recovered a little bit since then. We're still in the 23.6, which of course is, the bullish zone for myself. So in a grand scheme of things, Bitcoin is looking amazing. Even though might see some choppy levels, obviously we're coming out of a weekend. On the weekends, more manipulation than usual due to the fact that CME futures are closed. If you're looking at XRP, still ranging and accumulating within the 38-point Fibonacci retracement level. Now, people that are holding XRP, are patient. They understand, how good the price of XRP is holding, and continuously it shows that right now. Of course, no explosion right now, no ETF approvals as of now, but I think, that is going to happen sooner rather than later. So far, so good. As far as the price is concerned, I know, people call it a stable coin, but we cannot forget how much it's up since November. So far, so good. Like what I'm seeing here. Let me know down below what you guys think. What are you guys doing right now? Love each and every one of you guys. We'll see you later. Been Crypto ZX, and peace out.